I'm Jimi Hendrick, and this is episode 119, Ruling the World on Empower Your Pattern. Now, we're going to forego the usual music and introduction because this is going to be a doozy, okay? This is going to be an interesting one, so be ready. In early December 1996, I changed majors from broadcast journalism to political science. Okay? So here comes the introduction. It's January of 1997. Kris and I returned from a little engagement celebrations, and we're ready to go full steam. Which sounds like great, we can rule the world. But there was just one problem. I had plunged into a 9-month depression beginning in shortly before the engagement. It wasn't related to her. I had been close to God for about a year at that point. But I was missing a father void. And in reality, I'll tell you this. What I needed more was to go back to being close to Heavenly Father. Ruling the world, I'll tell you this. Ruling the world involves so much more than one person thinking they can be the ruler of the free world. See, that's what I wanted to be, is the ruler of the free world back in 1997. But I've discovered that ruling the world means more than that. It started when I went to a seminar rally in Abilene around that time of year. And they were talking about leaders and heroes. And I was so plunged into my depression that I didn't see myself as neither a leader or a hero. I couldn't see myself for what the team would grow to see me. Months later, I would get compliments like I'm an inspirational leader. But it took me going through my 9-month depression to see through it. I could give you some great examples of what ruling the world is to me. And this is through some examples. Of course, these are some hypothetical examples, but it's examples I received as a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. These are the examples that I would do. Why don't you come over to my house and we'll study the Bible? I'm the CEO of my company. You help me set the rules, we can do that. Let me take you out to lunch, and I'll show you my speech I'm going to be giving at the Midland International Airport. I'm the CEO. As far as your impacts, I'll listen. But I didn't know that. Because for 9 months, I hit a depression. And what I was receiving in the battleground of the mind was wrong ideas about what leadership is. Here's another one. Why don't you guys come over to my house for dinner? And we'll have a Star Trek marathon, and I'll show you my latest passive money making idea. Let me ask you this. Is there any other way to rule the world? Kris and I honestly thought that we knew. We were young. I have to say to some degree we were immature. We thought we knew what an influencer was. But even Kris and I soon discovered that we had two different ideas, two different ways to influence people. Hers was the reactive way. Mine was the reactive and proactive way. And see, that's another angle to be addressing. The reactive and the reactive proactive way. Which way is it going to be for you? You see, at that point, Kris pledged her love and marriage to me. But we had no idea what ruling the world was actually going to be, what it meant. When you're kids, you have an eye full of wonder. But as you get into your, say, 40s and 50s, your view of the world begins to change. It begins to evolve. See, that's the thing. I can still rule my sphere of influence, but by righteous principles. Righteous principles of the scriptures. Because you can't have a reactive, narcissistic demand. You can't do that. It goes against the principles. Leadership. That was one thing we were missing. Leadership. Oh, sure, we'd heard about it in the two conventions that we went together, and the one convention that she went to in December. The fact of the matter is, things were not easy. The Depression had creeped in early December. It would not end until early September of 1997. And so all my weird concepts of ruling the world, that didn't really help. Part of it, I know, was because I was hanging out with reactive friends. And when you're hanging out with reactive friends, you can't succeed. You can't succeed. Reactive people that say, I know best. I rule the world. Well, let me tell you something. That's narcissism. And it doesn't make you a good ruler at all. So, that's the thing. You have a unique position to lead by principle, not just by ideal. I was so idealistic from 1996 to 1998 that I couldn't even see straight. And I really loved Kris. But the 9-month depression would put a damper on a lot of the problems. Sure, there were some breaks there within, but it didn't help me be the effective leader that I felt like we were called to be. You see, and there we go. There we go. With that, I hope you've enjoyed listening to Empower Your Pattern 2.0. If you like what you hear, please subscribe. Become a citizen of Pattern Realm. This is Jimi Hendrix saying until next time. Do what others don't so you can be what others won't. Do what others don't so you can have what others can't. Choose, act, and pursue happiness. And God bless you.